Originally, I kind of got into farming to learn how to grow my own food. After a few years of just volunteering on other farms, I went to horticulture school. My passion's just in the soil and with plants and growing good food.
One of the unique things about running a farm as a business is that farmers are really doing all the jobs. We're doing the production, the marketing, the sales, doing all the deliveries. We're really talking about 30 different enterprises that are all happening in parallel to make the farm work.
Access to capital has always been a struggle. I've been farming for 10 years now and barely was able to pay off my student loans while farming and then working in restaurants on the side. But really, when I think about it, if it was just Russell and I, the money we had saved would have all gone to a down payment and then nothing else. We wouldn't have had anything left over for tools or anything. It all would have gone to the land payments.
The Working Farms Fund is a program of the Conservation Fund with an ambitious mission. We're working with landowners, farmers, market partners, and farm support organizations to rebuild our local food system. Anchored around metro areas across the country, we're buying small to mid-sized farms, permanently protecting them with an agricultural conservation easement, connecting next-generation farmers who are looking to scale up their business and local food production, and setting them on a permanent path to affordable farmland ownership.
Land outside of metropolitan areas is pressured by development, and that makes the land costs impossible for next-generation farmers, making new farms next to impossible to create.
Without the Working Farms Fund, we wouldn't have been able to acquire land like this. Getting up to a scale that we've been able to get to in the last 18 months probably would have taken us years.
Here's the real mastermind of all this.
Before coming here to our new farm in Mansfield, I leased 5 acres of land from a community in Atlanta, and we were able to grow on about 2 acres of that land. Today, at Love is Love Cooperative Farm, we have 70 acres of beautiful farmland, and we currently have 6 acres in production.
The work calls people. It's meaningful work. It puts you outside. It's endlessly challenging. It's different every day. And there are certain kinds of people who are really drawn to that work. The problem is that the people who are drawn to that work are usually not the same people as the people who have access to land and access to capital. And so programs like this really help create pathways. We're not creating the pathway, but the Conservation Fund is creating the pathway. Common Market has helped creating the pathway for the people who are interested in doing this work to have a way to do it in a way that provides equity for them, which is really important.
Common Market focuses on what we call ag in the middle. Farmers that are too large for farmers markets, but are not the mega corporate farms. This is the swath of farmers that we feel is really in danger of going away if there's not some intentional investment. But I think when we talk about farmers that fit our profile, the primary characteristic is just a vision for where farmers see their farm going in the future. We see local as those family-owned farms that are in the middle, that are trying to have that community impact and have that view of stewardship towards the earth.
At a systems level, the Working Farms Fund is helping to increase the supply of fresh, healthy food in metro regions. We are uniquely suited to fill that need because we are a conservation real estate organization with a conservation finance expertise. There is a huge goal of our program to allow production at scale to meet institutional markets. So there are a lot of people in Chicago who are getting their nutrition through institutional meals, whether that's schools, hospitals, justice system, healthcare system.
Often we hear from the institutions that we're working with that they would buy local food, they would buy more sustainable products, but there is no supply. And they want to support and invest in farms that are owned by people of color, but they can't because there's not enough.
We've known the Conservation Fund and its staff for a long time and admire and respect them so much. So one of the things we started to think about is, could Amory play a role by saying, we will buy your food. We will sign a long-term contract with you to say, if you meet certain sustainability criteria, we will buy your food.
When we're able to actually meet with these individuals, it's motivating because it gives you an opportunity to see exactly where the food is actually being sourced. And you realize what it actually takes to get a fresh vegetable here on campus, then you have a newfound respect for these particular individuals. I would like to see a partnership that we currently have that's in the works with the Conservation Fund and also one of our best suppliers, which is Midwest Foods. More farmers, more individuals be able to take advantage of the actual program.
The opportunity for the farms to also be able to then own that land. I mean, what that's going to do for food sovereignty and the sustainability of those businesses by having that be more affordable by utilizing this mechanism is just, it's an incredible design, and it's going to be really powerful for what we're doing here in Chicago.
What interested us in working with the Working Farms Fund was that we were looking for the right location, and we were also looking for the right opportunity. Farming in 4 different locations was not sustainable. There was no way that we were going to be able to keep that up year over year. Being able to consolidate our farming into one location has done a wonderful job for us, being able to focus and lay the foundation for growth.
It's really important to eat local foods because when you pick something fresh off the tree, off the vine, off the plant, and you bring it straight to the market for the consumer to purchase and then make food at home, they're getting the food when it reaches its optimal nutritional content and value.
Owning land is such a difficult thing to do, especially being a beginning farmer, and even for some existing farmers, being able to expand and purchase land that you actually own and can develop. But through the Working Farms Fund, we found people that not only have supported our visions and our goals, but really have their own visions and goals that align with ours, helping us to buy land and helping us to eventually own that land, where it gives us the freedom and the power to establish something that we can keep in our family for generations to come.
Knowing that something like this is an option is a very important part in people's decision making as far as whether or not to continue on into farming. A lot of farmers, their children are not going into farming. It's because they don't see a future in it. Something like this gives people hope.
With this expanded land through Conservation Fund, I'm in a really good position to seize some larger market opportunities. We've, over the past few years, dabbled in wholesaling with a couple of wholesalers like the Common Market. On our small scale, I've seen what's possible, but we're limited by land. Now, with the larger land access, we're in a good position to go in head first into wholesale opportunities.
I think it is a sustainable market. 80% of what we're putting in our baskets is from local artisans or growers.
We've actually done some studies to show that, in particular, our most vulnerable areas and most vulnerable populations, if they had access to local food, they would eat it and have better health outcomes.
Now, a lot of the people that want to expand, now they actually have a pathway to go into that's not just by themselves.
It's encouraging now because you've got different groups such as the Working Farms Fund that's helping out, helping you find a place for your product. They're helping you get your feet on the ground, starting there. They've got all kind of resources to offer, and that's a huge help in a young farmer, as myself, that needs somebody to lean on for their wisdom and guidance also.
What I really like about it is the idea that that land will forever be in farming, that somebody else can come along and take that land after we're done with it, and it still has to be farmed long after I'm gone. And I think that's the greatest asset.
There was just much to consider that this would be the way that I would want to go. The mission statement is exactly what my idea of what I'd like to leave as a legacy. It really resonated with what I would want to do with the land.
Now imagine a network like that spreading from metro area to metro area around the country. I believe through the Working Farms Fund and the partnerships that we're creating, we can reconnect to the land. We can reconnect to the places where our food is grown. We can recommit with our purchasing power to the farmers who are producing food more sustainably for our communities. Through all of this, we can transform ourselves into a healthier, more resilient local food system.